In this Sekiro Shadows Die Twice guide, we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the Shinobi Firecracker prosthetic tool. This is the fourth of 10 such guides exploring every facet of these, from explaining just what each upgrade does to how they can be best utilized in combat. The Firecracker is so widely used, it would be foolish not to cover this one next. The Shinobi Firecracker can be purchased from the Crow's Bed Memorial Mob or the Battlefield Memorial Mob in Ashina outskirts. The Crow's Bed Memorial Mob is located not far from the old woman and her dying son. Just grapple to the roof of a nearby building and then jump onto the cliff to find his tent. The Battlefield Memorial Mob can be found directly up the large stairs and to the right up another set of stairs immediately after defeating Gyobanwa. The Shinobi Firecracker has such a wide range of application because it works on nearly every enemy, making it perhaps the best prosthetic tool in Sekiro. Pressing R2 will release the firecrackers in a wide arc on the ground, and they will detonate almost immediately upon finishing this animation. This will stun enemies caught in it for a brief period of time, allowing you an opening to attack. Note that beast-type enemies will also take posture damage from the firecracker, while human-type will not. The length of the stun seems to be determined by the type of enemy that the firecracker is used upon, with beast types affected for a much longer period than human-like enemies. In addition, the firecracker can only be used every 15 seconds or so on beast enemies, as these are given a period of immunity to avoid spamming. However, others that are more human-like have no immunity. This allows you to use this prosthetic tool to stun lock them for extended periods. The Springload Firecracker is the first upgrade of this prosthetic tool, and the only function of this upgrade is to spread firecrackers in a 360-degree circle around you. This allows you to stun many more enemies at once, and ones that are on all sides. However, this is not common in Sekiro, as you generally focus on taking out enemies one at a time. This makes this upgrade much less effective than it could be, particularly because it does not deal more posture damage or stun enemies longer. The Long Spark upgrade of the Shinobi Firecracker allows the firecrackers to burn longer on the ground, making timing them a bit less difficult. These do not stun longer or deal more posture damage, but simply allow you to get them onto the ground earlier so that you can be ready to start swinging when the enemy runs into them. It's particularly good against more aggressive enemies or ones that charge at you. The Purple Fume Spark is the final upgrade of the Shinobi Firecracker, creating purple smoke that stuns enemies when it explodes. It has a short delay after dispersing, about 2 seconds, so you have to anticipate it a bit more in order to use them effectively. This makes it harder to use than other versions of this prosthetic tool. Additionally, although the description states that enemies affected by it take more vitality and posture damage for a short while, this effect is so minimal that it is hardly even worth noting. In my testing, I simply could not tell the difference between enemies with the debuff and those without. I tested this on regular enemies, bosses and mini-bosses, beasts and humans alike. If they are taking increased posture or vitality damage, I could not tell the difference. The Shinobi Firecracker is one of only 3 tools that can use Chasing Slice. It allows you to charge forward after dropping the firecrackers, striking the enemy with a quick slash. However, this attack deals almost the same damage as a normal R1, and you don't really need to charge forward when enemies must be nearby to be affected by firecrackers. This makes Chasing Slice much more effective for the loaded shuriken and the loaded spear, where closing distance may be necessary. Since all firecrackers stun for the same duration and deal the same posture damage to beasts, it doesn't really matter which you use. The Long Spark will be the most effective as you can throw it a bit earlier and still stun enemies, giving you some leeway in your timing. You can chain spam the firecracker to stun lock bosses and mini-bosses for an extremely easy, albeit cheesy, go of it. The strategy is using R2 and then hitting R1 twice. Keep repeating this combo until you run out of firecrackers. You can then use Fistful of Ash to completely wipe out one vitality bar of a boss or mini-boss. Since you can stealth deathblow most mini-bosses, this means you can kill just about any of them very quickly with this method. Lastly, you can use the firecracker to prevent certain attacks from bosses that are particularly deadly. You can use them on Isshin Ashina to interrupt his Flame Column attack, you can use them on Isshin the Sword Saint to interrupt his large AoE, and you can use them on the Great Shinobi Owl to interrupt his smoke in Phase 2. This makes these extremely difficult fights much easier, and also helps keep you alive, giving you more time to learn the other mechanics of these fights. Stay tuned for more prosthetic tool guides, and be sure to check out our boss and beginner guides if you need more help with the game.